I've got my Blue Line Chromatic with me. It's a 3-string tuned DAD. Now, I always wanted to play jazz on a dulcimer, and you can take a diatonic dulcimer and you can use different tunings and bending and all kinds of stuff, and maybe 4-string, and you can actually, it's really fun. You can come up with some great jazz things. Um, I wanted to be able to play a dulcimer in the context of like a jazz combo with improvisation. I want to be able to play any note, any interval, any chord, any scale, any mode, any progression, and I want to be able to do it anywhere on the instrument that I need to do it. And I'm telling you this because it's a work in progress, and I'm hoping somebody out there watching this is doing the same thing or wants to do the same thing, and we can start to have a dialogue about it. So I'll show you what I've been working on. You show me what you've been working on. Maybe we'll come up with something. And this is very brief. I'm going to presume that you've studied music theory to some degree. And if you haven't, I'll give you a little tip. You can't just motor through the whole book like in a day or a week. I think you have to take each concept and make it your own. So when you learn about notes, you go out there, you explore notes, you think about them, you find them, you map them out. Somebody teaches you major chords, you go home, you make it your own, you make stuff up with those, you figure out the major chords you've been playing all along and didn't know about. It's kind of like math. I mean, you got to take little bite-sized chunks, work them into what you already know. If you're trying to cram it in and it's not part of your experience and you're not creating with it, I think it's a lot harder. So having said all that, here's what I've been working on. I learned notes around the cycle. So on the bass string, C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B, E, A, D, G, back to C. I did the same thing on the middle string. And I want to be able to do that without thinking. I go around the cycle of perfect fourths. A perfect fourth is 5 half steps. It's great. It gets it in your head where you don't have to think about it. You just know this stuff, but also it prepares you for some of the most common chord progressions in jazz. Then I did intervals. So I want to be able to do major thirds around the cycle. F, B flat, E flat, and maybe do it on going from the bass to the middle. So C to E, F to A, B flat to D, that kind of thing. All the intervals. So I don't want there to be any doubt in my head. So let's say like a flat 7. So C to B flat, right? F to E flat, B flat to A flat. Okay. Then I started working on scales, doing it all on one string. So maybe I've got D. That's D major. And then I work that around the cycle. So I've got, after D, I have G, C. But I don't want to just do all that on one string. I want to be able to go across the strings. C, F, B flat, E flat. Now I'm not doing the sharps right now. I have worked on those a lot, but I know that a lot of times in a jazz setting you'll be working with people who are used to the flat keys. But certainly you've got to practice both. I don't just practice around the cycle of fourths. I practice around the cycle of thirds or major seconds. Whatever I can do to really get it where it's really in my head. Then of course you've got your triads like major, arpeggios, all the different versions of D major. And I want to be able to practice all those around the cycle. So here's C major in the start on the root, and then first inversion for C is going to start on E, and then second starts on a G, And I want to be able to take each one of those around the cycle. So first inversions, I got C, F, B flat, E flat, and seventh chords. So D major 7, D minor 7, D dominant 7, D minor major. Okay, and all the inversions and each little thing's practice around the cycle, and I make something, I make it my own. Use each new concept, and it is a struggle. Sometimes it's like torture, but there's a huge payoff, and when you start seeing the payoff, man, it makes you want to practice even more and realize you don't have to do this kind of practicing the rest of your life. So let me show you what I started working on with doing 2 5-1s. So like in the key of D, we've got an E minor 7. And then I could go to an A dominant 7 to a D major 7. Now bouncing around like that to different areas is usually not what I'm going to do. I usually want to keep my hand in the same area, use good voice leading. So here's an E minor 7, and I'm going to stay right in that area for an A dominant 7, and stay right in that area for a D major 7. Okay. So here's your E minor 7, A dominant 7, and then D major 7.